Good afternoon and welcome to beautiful Pickett, Wisconsin on this September 25th, 2025. It's fall now. The days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, but today is a beautiful day. It's 64 degrees, very light wind, and I've got an engine that I'm going to run here several times today. Now on the stand I've got this OSFS 120 Surpass 3 engine that I've made several videos of already. This is going to be the first real good run outside with hopefully good RPM readings, hopefully good operational characteristics. I've got, boy, I hope I brought them. I didn't see them in the truck. Hope I brought them. Anyway, what I was going to say is I've got 2 fuels and 3 different props. 1 glow plug. I probably have other glow plugs if I needed them. But what I want to do with this engine, this first portion here, is just get this thing tuned so that it's running high end good, low end good, transition good, because it had a very small window of tuning, it seemed like, last time I did a run in the garage. And then once I get it running good, we'll take some RPM readings, and then if I can go find them in the truck, I'll put the other 2 props on here and do some more runs. Now, so the first portion here, I've got a 15.6 prop, APC, I've got an OSF glow plug and some 5 to 7% nitro fuel. And I don't know if I'm going to make just 1 long video or 2 videos or 3 videos. I don't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But the other fuel I've got once this tank is empty is some just 15% straight out of the bottle Morgan's Omega. So just for the heck of it, I thought I'd try that. And the other props I've got is I've got a 14.7 3-bladed prop, and I've got a 16.6 APC prop. And those are all props that were recommended as suitable props in the manual for this engine. So with that said, I'm going to turn the camera off, get this primed up, go see if I've got those other props, and we'll do some runs. Okay, so I did forget those other 2 props, so I had to go back to the apartment and get them. So let's fire this guy up and see what happens here. Just primed it 1 flip. Let me get my starter connected up here. That darn not having a throttle stop just kind of screws me up all the time here. Seems like I got it fairly close here. Obviously we got some low speed tuning to do here. trying to set it for about 2400 RPM, like a YS engine. I want to see a nice stable idle so that I can see how it's responding to the typical 4-stroke pinch test. But it doesn't seem to be responding the way a normal 4-stroke would. Well, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and swap to some different props here. Okay, so maybe as you can see, this engine does not have the proper prop washer on it. So this locking nut set doesn't inset in there like it should. And I'm going to have to try and see if I can hand start this thing. I don't really like doing that because I just don't think my starter is going to engage on this really very good at all. So that's what we're going to try and do here. This is the 14.7 3-blade. Okay, I'm going to shut it down and put the 16.6 prop on here now. Okay, so here's the 16.6 prop. Now that spinner just wouldn't quite fit over this prop, but for the heck of it, I just decided to go ahead and use the nuts off that spinner so that it has a little bit better fit. And again, I'm going to have to do a hand start here, I think. Probably don't really need to prime it, but we did. I'm going to do a backflip and see if it fires up that way. Nope. Okay, so there you have it. Obviously, what I'm filming here, what I'm posting here is just the 5 to 7% nitro run with 3 props. And, you know, this just goes back to the same thing I've said about just about every OS pumped engine. I mean, so I know there's going to be people that comment on here and say I'm not doing something right, or I don't know what I'm doing, and whatever. But what I'm finding with this engine is that first thing is in the instructions it says to reset the low speed needle. It says to close the throttle all the way and then turn that needle, low speed needle, in until it stops and then back it out 2.5 turns. Well, what I was noticing when I was doing that was I just kept turning it and turning it and turning it and turning it at the low speed, and it never stopped, but the throttle arm just kept doing this. So it's not like you can set this throttle arm and you get a definite stop. As more you turn it in, the throttle arm just does this shit. So it's like, okay, so that doesn't work. And what I'm finding here is that, as I said when I did the garage run, the tuning window is so small. You tune it for high speed like normal, and then if you go to idle, it may idle fine, it may sound great idling, but it doesn't want to do a quick transition. And I sat there and I played with it all I was going to play with it, richening it and leaning it, and I couldn't really get it to do any better. So it's one of those things where this engine looks like it has really good top end and a really decent idle that's stable, but in between sucks. You can't just go jamming this throttle like you could on a YS, or maybe you can on a YS. I don't know. All I know is there are other engines, that 4-strokes, where you can move the throttle much faster and get better response. I'm not seeing that with this engine. Is it a nice engine? I guess. I don't know. I mean, it runs, it sounds good, it sounds really great sitting there idling. It seemed to really like the 3-bladed prop, and it was interesting to see how different the high-speed adjustment was different for this thing. 2 or 3 clicks one way or the other is a big deal on this engine. How it was different between the props. And I think you might be able to see that with, if you can see the angle that this is at the peak of each prop. So, I mean, you know, whatever. It's an OS engine, I guess. I'm not super in love with this engine, so if anybody's watching this and you'd like to have this engine, contact me via email and maybe we can make a deal. Now keep in mind that it won't be for free, because I've invested $100 in a brand new carb. So right there, I'm $100 into this engine, not to mention the fact that I traded a good brand new Surpass E for it. So if you're interested in having this engine, you think you can do better with it, and you can post a video of it, more power to you. Take it off my hands, because I'm not in love with this engine by any means. I would rather have the Surpass E or just a Sato for a 120. So that's your run for today.